This is a picture from 1979. 13 years old, was going on 14, Johnny Pius. Unfortunately, Johnny Pius is no longer with us. He was murdered. Murdered in back of Dogwood Elementary School in Smithtown. Now, stuff like this does not happen in Smithtown. Smithtown is where, your typical white picket fence, dog, 2 kids, you raise your family. Back then, in 1979, and even now, in the year 2022. As we look at Dogwood Elementary School, which is in a residential part of the neighborhood. The school is located in the residential area, and Johnny's body was found behind the school in the woods, which would be where we're looking at. Obviously, it's a school, so the way you shoot, you have to be cautious, and this was shot on a Saturday. So, like I mentioned, Johnny's body was found there behind the woods. So the story behind this is Johnny left his father's house on his bicycle around 8:15 of April 20th of 1979. At around 9 o'clock, a neighborhood girl saw him riding his bicycle towards Dogwood Elementary School. And we're going to zip back into the neighborhood of where this all took place as Johnny was riding his bicycle that day. But this is just the surrounding area inside Smithtown. You get a feel of how it presently looks. So again, Johnny took out his bicycle 8:15. 15 minutes later, a girl saw him riding towards Dogwood Elementary School, and unfortunately he was never seen again.
Take the next left onto Howell Drive.
A member of a informal search party found his body at 1 o'clock the next day, 16 and a half hours after Johnny was last seen. He was found in the woods.
1,000 feet, turn left onto Rice Lane.
School. They mentioned that Johnny died after attackers beat him, dragged him, and shoved dirt and rocks down his throat, which ultimately suffocated him. Police eventually charged 4 boys, also teenage residents of Smithtown, which is where this whole
Take the next left onto right.
The crime immediately just was all over the papers, all over the news. Again, stuff like this in a small town in Suffolk County nonetheless. Another view of the woods behind the elementary school. Stuff like this does not happen in communities in this. Fast forward to 2003, and this case is still going on. Quarter century back then, in 2003, after 4 teenagers were charged with stuffing stones down the throat of a 13-year-old boy who had seen them steal a minibike, came to a close in 2003. Finally, that time Thomas Ryan, 42, he pled guilty to attempted manslaughter for his role in the killing of the boy. Ryan was the last of the 4 suspects to have his case resolved. He was tried twice and convicted. Those verdicts were overturned on appeal. A 3rd trial ended in a mistrial. Speaking before acting Justice Michael Mullen of the State Supreme Court, proceeding in which Suffolk County Criminal Court in Riverhead, Tom Ryan acknowledged he had driven 3 friends around to find the boy because the group was afraid he would turn them in for stealing a minibike, which prosecutors estimated was worth $5. So, you heard it correctly. This boy's life was snuffed out. He was going to be 14 years old because he witnessed a group of teenagers steal a minibike that was estimated back then to be worth $5. A $5 minibike. Because he seen that crime, his life was snuffed out over a $5 minibike. Really, you just can't even imagine what the parents were going through. I think the mom has passed away recently. You know, Johnny would have been, I think, now in his 60s. He would have had children, you'd think. Would have been milestones that he missed. Marriage, being a grandfather, being a father. Over $5 minibike. And even if you think about it, a $5 minibike, what were these teenagers worried about? Most likely would have been a slap on the wrist. Were they going to go to jail over a minibike that was stolen? Rest in peace, Johnny Pius.